All right, welcome back. So as we've been talking about all morning, President Biden, the Keystone State this week, unveiling a nearly $7 trillion budget, repealing the Trump tax cuts, increasing the corporate tax rate to seven more percent, increasing the personal tax rate to its highest rate in 40 years, all while ignoring how Americans are supposed to cope with the cost of eggs.
Yeah, now here to break it all down for us is host of the Derek Hunter podcast and Town Hall columnist Derek Hunter. Thank you for joining us, Derek. Now, I want you to take a listen to the president on raising the corporate tax rate before we get into this. Take a listen.
No billionaire should be paying a lower tax than somebody working as a school teacher or a firefighter or any of you in this room. So my plan is to make sure the corporations begin to pay their fair share. It used to be 35%. We cut it down to 21%. I think we should be paying 28%. There's going to be a real fight on that, but we should be paying more than 21%.
Now, this is higher than what people are paying in China. The Chinese Communist Party's tax is at 25%. So what is your reaction to that?
Well, give them time. The communists will catch up worldwide. It's just that we have the leading edge of communist thought here in the country. I tell you, it's amazing to me. They always use percentages. They always use percentages when it suits their needs, when they don't want you to know the raw numbers. The rich pay a ton in taxes. The rich pay the majority of taxes. 10% pay 95% of the taxes. The corporations are paying their taxes because we pay the tax. Corporations don't actually pay taxes. Everybody knows this. They pass the savings on to us. They pass the costs on to us. It is just an accounting gimmick. But if you control the unit of measure, you control everything. And so you can say fair share, only 20%. It should be 30%. It should be this percent. It should be that percent. It is a shell game. For the real problem in Washington, D.C. is that our federal government spends too much money. It doesn't matter how much money that they take in. We're taking in more money than we've ever taken in before by a lot. And we're still running up massive deficits. Nothing Joe Biden has proposed addresses the deficit or the debt. He'll tell you it does, but he's, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yes, he's lying because he can, because he knows that nobody in the White House press briefing room is going to call him out on it.
It's unbelievable. And I asked Grover Norquist last night. I was in for Chris Salcedo. And I asked him, I said, when in the history of ever has tax increases created more revenue? And his answer was never. It's like there was no talking on that, but this huge $7 trillion plan, just for the president to mention, a climate 148 times, clean energy 65 times, equity 63 times, and environmental justice 32 times. I can't think of a better way to spend my money. Can you?
I could set it on fire. I could heat my house with it. That would be a better use for it. It's bizarre to watch. Look, only people who know they will not be called out on it would lie this brazenly. But that number you put up on the screen is terrifying. And I want to give it some perspective because I don't assume you know what $1 trillion feels like. Nobody, the richest man doesn't come close to $1 trillion. So my best friend's mother taught me this back when I was a kid. 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 33 years, and 1 trillion seconds is just shy of 32,000 years.
Whoa.
So when you put that into perspective, and Joe Biden is looking to spend nearly $7 trillion in 1 year, whoa, the waste, fraud, and abuse crowd is sitting there salivating at the prospect of shoving their head into that trough. I mean, they've been robbing us blind at $4 trillion a year. You add in another $3 trillion a year, and Katie bar the door.
I am in absolute shock.
That is the clearest depiction of it.
It is. Carl and I just looked at each other and our jaws just dropped over the way that you just presented that. That is absolutely crazy. Now that you've given us that number and we've realised how dramatic this is, do you think that there could be a meeting with Kevin McCarthy or anyone and a counteroffer might be given? It might be given from Congress?
There should be, but I don't think that, look, Joe Biden has no desire to compromise because his voter base will not accept compromise. anything short of some sort of victory will be seen as defeat. He's already in a weak position where about only 40%, and that's mostly his family and people who grift off government, want him to run for re-election. So he's got to placate the rabid brick-throwing, Molotov cocktail-carrying people that you see down in Atlanta, for example. That's his base.
Yeah,
so I
folks.
wouldn't expect I wouldn't expect the BLM Antifa, they're like the AFL-CIO. They've joined together to be doubly awful. There's no benefit to compromise. What you're going to end up, I mean, the federal government hasn't really budgeted in probably 20 years, if not longer. So they'll end up with continuing resolutions, playing kick the can. They'll add some money here, add some money there to placate and get the votes that they need through. This is all kabuki theater, but it really is important for the election next year that people pay attention, because eventually one of these people are going to get their way. One of these sides are going to get their way. And if it's Democrats, we're in a world of trouble.
Yep. Well, Derek Hunter, we appreciate you pointing out what should be common sense, but that's why we bring you in here.
Thank you.
Appreciate being here.